Another special edition of Litter Media Live. Just a moment ago, we had the FFA in studio with us from Adena High School. Now we have John Goodwill, a retired teacher from Adena High School, but also Air Force veteran.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, want to make sure I said that right. We want to talk about the Veterans Day program that will be taking place this Thursday morning at Adena High School. Details coming up right after this from Classic Brands. Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good. I first met John when he was serving up cheeseburgers at Carl's Townhouse.
Many moons ago,
when
yes,
it was way down on Payne Street.
Yes, yeah. Had a lot of fun down there, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I used to go in, I would get cheeseburgers for breakfast. Chip Arledge and I would come down. And
I remember Chip. I forgot all about that.
Chip would be in studio, and I'd say, I'll be back. And in between sportscasts, I would go down to get the cheeseburgers and come back, and we would enjoy a Carl's special breakfast.
Oh, absolutely.
But we want to talk about another breakfast, which we had the girls here just a moment ago from Adena FFA. Yes. Mm-hmm. The breakfast starts at what time?
7:45.
Okay. And then at 9, there is a special program.
Yeah, and we actually have a flag raising ceremony before that.
Is that right?
Okay. The Greenfield cadets come over to Adena every year for several years, and they do a flag raising ceremony out in front of the school, and that's usually about 8:40 or so, somewhere in there before we give the veterans a chance to eat breakfast. Then we do the flag raising ceremony. Then we come in for our program, which starts at 9, and K through 12 is in the gym, and we have all of our veterans set up where they can sit on the floor, them and their families, and just enjoy the program.
Yeah. This is something you've done for several years now at Adena.
Yeah, many, at least 20. I'm not sure when we started, but yeah, it's been a long time. Mm-hmm. I enjoy doing it.
As an organizer for this event and being a veteran, do you get a chance to kind of enjoy the program?
Well, I enjoy just being up there because anyone that knows me, the students always used to say, boy, you like to talk. And I guess I do, but I do. I really enjoy just being up there and being able to see the reaction of the veterans, because many of them, they're sitting back there going, wow, I remember, if I would share a few stories about maybe boot camp or something, and they're like, boy, do we remember that. So it's kind of neat to see that. And then I get to talk to them before at the breakfast, and it's just kind of their story. You've got every branch of the service represented, and each one's just a little bit different. And, like we had, up to a couple years ago, we had a World War II veteran still, and I haven't seen him. I'm not sure if he's still, because World War II veterans are
in their 90s.
They've got it. Yeah, they sure are. And I'm hoping that he's still around and he'll be there. Yeah. But we'll find out, I guess, on Thursday.
Yeah. And now, Vietnam era was my era as a youngster, and most of those fellas are starting to get up in age as well.
Yeah, well, I went in 73. Vietnam was basically over about that time. I think our last troops, maybe 75, somewhere in there. But yeah, it was Vietnam eras that. Yeah, and you're right. They're getting up there. I know I'm feeling old, so yeah, I guess we are getting up there. But that is about that era now, yes.
Many of them in their late 70s.
Yes, yes.
So this is always that time of the year where you can feel patriotic. And I know many people salute veterans during Memorial Day, but the veterans always tell you, no, that's to remember those who have served. And yeah, we've served during Veterans Day, but this is a time for us to all be honored.
Absolutely. And, and I always tell everybody, you can show that respect and honor, when they're playing of the national anthem or anything else coming around. And that's still, I will stand at attention. I'm just real patriotic in that way. Yeah. And I'm real strict about it, I guess, because if I see somebody that's I think is disrespectful, I get, but I guess I'm real patriotic, and I love this country.
We're old school.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Back when it meant something.
Yes, and it absolutely.
And it means something to a lot of people today.
Yes.
Seems like after the 60s, we started slipping away from some of the patriotism. But then when the 1990s came around, the Gulf era war,
sure,
we found our patriotism once again.
Oh, I think it's there, absolutely. And you get places like Lowe's that give you a discount, things like that. But that doesn't matter to me, and I don't think any veteran ever did it for 10% off at Lowe's. But, they thank you for your service, and I think as a veteran, I do appreciate that. But if no one ever said anything, I know what I did, and I'm sure most veterans feel that way too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter when you served. You saw some things maybe you didn't need to see, especially those who were in combat.
Yes. I was very fortunate. When I was in, I graduated from high school and went in, but then there really wasn't too many conflicts from 3 to 77. Yeah. You had the Cold War, with Russia and that back and forth, but yet I was very fortunate. Yeah, I feel fortunate.
I want to think Grenada might have been the...
Yes, Grenada was I remember that happened about that time, yeah.
Yeah, so war happens all the time. It's been going on since the beginning of time almost, but being able to serve your country, why did you want to go into the Air Force?
Well, my dad was an Army veteran. He was one of the first troops that were in Korea. He was actually stationed in Japan when we entered the Korean War, which is something I'm going to speak about, by the way, on Thursday, because that's something, they call it the Forgotten War, but that's just something I don't think a lot of people know a whole lot about. And so I decided this year that I'm going to speak about a little bit about it, give a little history of the Korean War. But my dad was a veteran. My brother and I went in a couple weeks apart. He was in the Army. I went in the Air Force. He tried to talk me into going in the Army with him, and I tried to talk him into going in the Air Force with me, but neither one of us would budge. And it's like, no, and I just really wanted to serve my country. Yeah. It was something that was really important to me. We weren't rich or anything, so, Dad couldn't send me to school, to college. So I thought, well, after that, I'd still have GI Bill and some other means to get my college education, and I could serve my country. And I really enjoyed, I spent 2 years in Germany, which was an experience in itself. Yeah. And so I got to see a lot and do a lot then. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of why some of the guys and gals go in anymore is to be able to travel.
Travel, yeah.
I know when my son was in the military, he figured out how many trips he made to wherever he was going, and it was like 62,000 air miles that he got to travel. Wow. A little kid from Pike County.
Sure.
Getting to do something.
You get to see
like
the
that.
World, yes. Yeah, I would always tell the kids when I was teaching at Adena, I said, there's life outside of Frankfort or Ross County. I said, you need to get out and, it's a big world out there, and, enjoy it. There's something to be said for staying in your hometown. Don't get me wrong. I love the small town atmosphere and everything, but, get out and experience it.
Yeah. Taste that other stuff, but come back home.
Yes.
We want to see you come
absolutely.
home.
You can come back. Yeah, that is true. Come back home, yes.
And I've not had this conversation with anyone before, but I often wonder how many veterans we have here in Ross County that are Ross County born and raised, compared to those who may have moved into the area.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've never seen anything. If I can ever find out anything like that, I might try to look that up. But there has to be quite a few. I would think anyway. Yeah.
For folks who want to visit for the breakfast, what's the procedure for them?
Oh, they just got to come in. Usually the FFA will be there at the door greeting. They have tables set up and everything. So all they got to do is come in, and their families are more than welcome to, and they can all eat breakfast, not just the veterans. And they will serve them breakfast, and they can sit there and talk, and you visit. The Cadet Corps usually comes early. They have breakfast with all of us, with the veterans. A lot of times I don't get a big chance to eat because I'm usually running around there crazy, trying to make sure everything's set up right and everything's there. But it's real informal. You just come, eat breakfast, come as you are. There's nothing there. And if you don't want to go to the flag raising ceremony, which some veterans, especially that can't get around maybe real well, they will just stay there at the table and then join the program, and that's okay too. It's whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Now, the flag racing, I assume, is in the front of the school?
Yes, in front of the school, right in front of the school. The Cadet Corps does that every year, and they do a great job, and then they will always have a presentation during the program, and they practice a lot. They really work hard, and I think everybody really enjoys that program. If anyone's ever seen it, everybody loves it when they stand on the rifles and they pull them. I mean, stuff like that. And I think the kids, like home kids, all the kids in school, I think really enjoy that.
Yeah. I had the opportunity to see them. I've seen them in action before in other various events, but one recently was flag retirement, and seeing them go through the motions of putting the flag into the barrel to be burnt and all. Incredible. I'm glad to see that they're doing that.
Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people realize there's all that ceremony, I guess, with flags and how to dispose of them. And there are certain ways. And I think a lot of people think, oh, that's crazy. But no, to me, it's just a matter of respect. Mm-hmm. And that flag represents this country. And so you're just a matter of showing respect to that flag and to the people that have served this great country of ours to make it this great country.
Absolutely. Anything we've missed that we wanted to make sure we mentioned about the breakfast?
I think the breakfast, the FFA does a great job every year. And, of course, the band will be playing and the choir will be performing. And sometimes we have the elementary kids. That's always kind of neat because they do the Pledge of Allegiance, and everybody loves that. They're cute at that time. I always tell them by the time they're seniors, they're not near as cute. But, I tease them because they know I'm just kidding around. But I said, boy, they used to be really cute back then. But, you get them little kids, and I think they learn, even though they're young, mm-hmm. I think they can get something out of the program.
Oh, yeah. Everyone knows my granddaughter, Amelia, is in kindergarten now. And the other day we were driving down the road, and she started saying the Pledge of Allegiance. And I was saying it with her, and then we would take turns. It was like we were a duet singing a song.
Okay, great.
And it's great to know that, even at 5 years old, you're learning the pledge.
Yes. Yeah. I'll have to ask. I got my youngest grandchild is 6. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him now if they do that I don't know if schools do that every morning. I think a lot of classrooms still do. I wish they would do that every morning. I just think it teaches the children a lot.
Precisely.
Yes.
And it's things you remember for the rest of your
life.
life.
Absolutely you do. Yes.
Yeah. Again, 7:45 for the breakfast.
Yes.
8:40 for the
flag raising,
and then 9 o'clock the program.
Absolutely, yes.
Very good. John, thank you for your service.
Thank you. You're welcome, and I appreciate you having me here today.
Sure thing. And we will see you Thursday.
Yes, see you Thursday.
Thanks for watching this edition of Litter Media Live.